Yeah, to be very, very honest with you, I thought in the first 45 minutes we were not great. To be honest, I thought that we defensively we weren't structured the way we had planned. Our pressing strategy was not the way we had planned, and for them it was very, very easy to get out from the face. We pressed them, but they got out of the press very, very easily. They pushed Mokoena playing a lot higher, almost like 4 attackers right on our back three, and we struggled. We struggled to win the ball. When we did win it, we struggled to retain possession of it for long periods, and we struggled to create opportunities. And we had to soak up a lot of pressure in that first half. At halftime, spoke to the team, spoke about where we needed to rectify things in terms of how we want to press. We obviously made the one change, taking Ajagun off, and we brought Thabo Nodada just to strengthen the midfield a little bit more. And still that second half, we didn't start great. But once we got the goal, that's when I think the game turned on its head and we started to look more confident. We started to keep possession a lot better. Obviously, they needed to start committing bodies forward, and when they done that, we literally punished them on the counter, and we ended up winning the game.
Thank you so much, Coach. Congratulations, Temba Shabala, Joseph from Sports. Just a quick one. Coming into Swallows, knowing that they didn't score at home when you hosted them in Cape Town, and then coming to Soweto, how much realistically did you gauge yourself, knowing very well that one of the prizes is that you're going to play against Sundowns in the final if you go through this one? It's already a tough outing for you.
Yeah, obviously, I think, when we played them in the first leg at home, I think we were extremely dominant. And to be brutally honest, we had a number of chances to have won that game. And it was fairly disappointing on my part that we didn't win that game and that it ended up in a stalemate. As I said in the media prior to the game on Friday evening, the confidence and the morale of the team was pretty low, especially after the FIFA break and the friendly games that we played, and then obviously the loss against Stellenbosch. So, it was quite hard to try and motivate the guys, get them motivated and keep the morale and the confidence high. So when we came to play them in the league, to be brutally honest, our primary objective was to ensure that we didn't lose that game. So defensively, we were structured, we were organized, we didn't really look to really hurt them going forward, hence the fact we didn't create a hell of a lot of chances. But I think the fact that we got that result obviously built the confidence and the morale of the team leading into this game. But at the same time, I was always had the confidence and belief that we will score, we will get goals, and sooner or later we are going to hurt someone because we have too much quality going forward, and someone's going to get hurt with that quality, and that's exactly what happened this evening. I think getting to the final was the primary objective. Who was going to be in that final was irrelevant. We now know, obviously, after the game last night, that it's going to be Mamelodi Sundowns, and it's going to be a tough task. But the main objective was to make sure that we got ourselves into that final, and I'm very, very proud of everybody from players to the technical staff, administration staff, for having achieved that.
Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, Coach. It's Bongiseni from The Citizen. How frustrating is this for you, for the team? We can see what you are trying to build with the team. We could see the team spirit when even the goals were scored. Some were celebrating even before the goal was scored because they knew that the pass was going in. But some other games, it's not there. It's like it's a stop-start for you. How frustrating is that? And what are you doing to make sure that you have this machine for every game that you play?
Very frustrating. Like I've stated in the media before, our preseason, we were scoring a lot of goals, and but once the league started, that seemed to dry up. But like I said, it's unfortunately, it's a psychological factor. That psychologically the whole team is affected when we're not scoring. And then when that situation happens, you tend to become slightly negative and start focusing on trying to keep a clean sheet at the back. And now you're not positive when you're going forward, and you end up start making a lot of mistakes and a lot of errors in terms of your final pass, in terms of your decision making. So what we hope now is obviously the fact that we've scored these 4 goals, and the players that were involved and the players that scored those goals, that has now built the confidence and the morale moving forward. And now we start seeing the team perform to what we know that the team is actually capable of performing. So I think there's a lot of positives we can take from today's result.
Hi, Coach. Good evening, College. Tashrik from Sport 24. Congratulations on the victory, Coach. I mean, it's only been a few months since you returned to the club, and City has been known to be this cup specialist ever since their existence since 2016. You in particular must be proud in terms of the short amount of space that you have gotten with this team to get them to a final, and your 7th final to be just amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Very happy to have got the team to a final. That is one of the targets that we set ourselves when I joined the club. I was obviously involved with the club when we won the Telkom. And I've been fortunate as a coach to have gotten into many finals. And obviously that hunger, that desire, that passion hopefully spills off on everybody else. And so I'm extremely happy and proud of the fact that, we've managed to achieve that again. But, very important, we want to go all the way, irrespective of who we come up against. It's going to be a tough one against Sundowns, but obviously we want to try and go out there and win the trophy.
Yes, Coach, good evening, colleagues. Good evening, Coach. This is Nati from NGFM in Polokwane. Coach, Terence Mashero seems to be, improving every game. And I'm sure you are not surprised that he got a Bafana call-up. And then your comment on that one, perhaps a second question. You are playing against Orlando Pirates this weekend. I'm sure this win must be motivating enough for you to say, guys, we can still score perhaps more than 2 goals or even 4 goals.
Yeah, obviously, Terence making the national team, fantastic achievement for him, considering the fact that he only played 1 season in the PSL here at Cape Town City. He was in the NFD. When I was coach at Maritzburg, we were also eyeing Terence and his ability, and Cape Town City managed to snap him up. And he had a fantastic season last season, I thought, from watching the games. And he was pretty fortunate, the fact that Dove Nielsen picked up the injury that he did and was out for as long as he was. It gave Terence that opportunity to grow very, very quickly at Cape Town City. But what's important about Terence is his humility, his professionalism. He's someone who works extremely hard at training. I gave everybody off on Sunday. He opted to rather come in and train, just to show you his commitment to the game and his will to want to achieve better things. So I think he's a fantastic example of what a true professional footballer should be and how they should behave. And I see a bright future for him. He's still young. He's still got a lot to learn. Don't get me wrong. He's not the polished product as yet, but definitely his ambition is very, very high. Obviously, yes, now we turn our focus to Orlando Pirates, league match at home. Again, we set ourselves targets and objectives, and those targets and objectives means we need to get a positive result against Orlando Pirates. We play at Cape Town Stadium. our home, which is what we love and enjoy. We play a brand of football that is a good brand of football at Cape Town Stadium. We seem to struggle to play that football when we play at Athlone. So yeah, I think the boys are going to be fired and raring to go, especially after a positive result like tonight.
How does Cape Town City, revert cup form into league form? I mean, we're going into the 20th season. The last time a Cape Town side has won the PSL title since Santos in the 2001-2002 campaign. Is that possible for Cape Town to achieve, to transform that cup form into league form and perhaps vie for title credentials in the Premiership, given their current place is, I'm sure you're not happy with it as well, currently lying 11th in the league, the game in hand.
Yeah, obviously, the important thing is consistency in terms of performances on the field, and I think that's obviously been probably the Achilles heel at Cape Town City, is the consistency in the performances. Back in 2016, the key matches to us not having really pushed for the title was, we played Baroka, what I can remember. We lost to Baroka, we lost to Platinum Stars. And those teams are teams that you can't be losing to if you're looking to chase the title. Those are teams you've got to be collecting maximum points. So obviously that's got to be the focus this season. What tends to happen, a lot of focus is put on the big clubs, Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, and Kaizer Chiefs, and we all tend to be able to get results sometimes against those big clubs, but leagues are won and lost by the small clubs, by the smaller teams, by going away and getting a result against Baroka, by going away, getting a result against TTM. That's what's going to get you to leagues, going away to Maruma. These are the teams that you need to get the results if you want to be competing for the league. And then obviously depth, a lot of depth in your squad, because the league is not 5-6 games like a cup competition. The league is 30 games and it's a long season. It's done over 10 months. And during that period, you're going to have suspensions, you're going to have injuries, and it's going to test the depth of your squad if you want to try and win leagues. And I think that's key. I think we have enough depth in our squad to compete, but I don't think there's a team in the league that has the depth of Mamelodi Sundowns.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good evening.
It's Valen Kirtley from Newsroom Africa. How much did the weather play into your hands, being from the mother city, with it being so wet and windy tonight?
Well, that only happened in the second half, to be honest. First half, there was no rain, there was no wind. But I think you're right, because we scored our goals in the second half. So maybe Mother Nature helped us this evening.
Are you hoping for much of the same for the final on the 30th?
I'm not even thinking that far. To be honest, I'm thinking about Orlando Pirates. That's where our focus turns right now. We've got a whole month in terms of our preparation leading to that final. And in between, there are some important league matches for us to complete. So I think everybody's focus now turns to that, So we'll only the week leading up to that cup final where we start focusing on Mamelodi Sundowns and how we aim to be competitive against them.
Thank you, Coach. Sponsor will take the last one.
Sorry, Coach, I know you've just said that you'll only focus on the final when you get to it, but obviously the players are excited, and looking at how unforgiving Sundowns have been this season, what kind of message do you say to the players to make sure that they just forget this and just focus on the journey that's immediate now, which is the league? And when you think of Sundowns, what comes to your mind?
I think what's important when we talk about the players, like I said at the beginning of the season, we set ourselves objectives and targets. One of those targets was obviously to win the MTN8. We find ourselves in the final, so we stand an opportunity there. The other objective was to ensure that we look to try and finish in the top 4. As one of your colleagues had stated earlier, that currently we find ourselves in 11th position. So we've still got to try and meet those targets, those objectives. Those games now become important as well, not only the MTN8. And, you know, there's a whole 30 odd days from now until we get that final, and there's 3 league matches that need to be played in between. So, you know, that's 9 points. 9 points are extremely important to us trying to achieve those objectives and goals that we set ourselves. We don't want to call it talk is cheap, you know. Important when we make when we set ourselves targets, that we try and meet those targets, and everybody needs to take responsibility in that. It cannot only be me as the coach. It's not only my job to get people motivated. Players need to be motivated. Players need to be focused. Players need to remind themselves that, you know, these were targets not set by others. They were set by us as a team. Collectively, we set those targets. You know, so we all need to buckle down and work hard to achieve that.